Welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the Tier 2 British light tank, the Cruiser Mk.III. So, is it any good? Yes, it's a bloody good tank. Very good indeed. I had a lot of fun in this tank. I ended up playing about 60 games in it just because I was having so much fun. Yeah, really good tank. Let's get into it. It has 150 hit points with the upgraded turret, which is quite low for a tier 2 light tank. It's probably the lowest or close to the lowest. The speed is 48 kilometers an hour, and that's created by a 395 horsepower engine, which is heaps of power for a tank this light. Only weighs 14 to 17 ton. Now that 48 kilometers an hour, it reaches that no problems on the flat, and if you're going over undulating terrain, you know, it just stays at 48. Going up hills, generally speaking, in the 30s, no problem at all. It really powers and accelerates really quickly. A great tank to get around the map in. The traverse speed though, the track traverse is 35, which I think is actually the worst out of all of the tier 2 light tanks. So whilst it moves quickly, it doesn't turn very well at all. The armor is terrible, really, but I'll get into the armor a little bit later. The turret traverse is 42, which is actually very good. And when you have the standard turret, it's actually even quicker than that. With the upgraded turret, it slows down a little bit. But 42 is probably, if not the best, very close to being the best turret traverse. The view range of 320 is about average, and the signal range of 450 is also about average. There are some that are a lot better, but there's some that are a lot worse. So what can we say? The other thing to note about it is it has 15 degrees of gun depression, which is a huge amount of gun depression. It doesn't actually feel like 15 though. It feels more like about sort of 10, maybe 12 degrees gun depression. But on paper it's 15, and it does perform very well as a hill fighter in that role. The other thing about it, it has about 20 degrees of elevation. Camouflage wise, it's not great. It's as far as tier 2 light tanks go, it's more towards the bottom end of the scale. It is quite a large tank for a tier 2 light. Actually, if I've got something else to show you the size of, let me have a look here. The T7 combat car is a tier 2. There's a T7 combat car which has very good camouflage. And if we go back to the Cruiser, there you can see. So the size of it, it's quite a largish tank. And actually, here's a T18. There's your T18. So that'll give you a good idea of size comparison. So it's quite a big tank, and so camouflage isn't great, but it does, like I say, it does move around the map pretty well. So let's now have a look at the grind for this tank. Now, I'm a bit lucky because I've already gone through the entire heavy line in the British tanks, and I've also been going through the tank destroyers in the British line. I actually already have all of the radios I need to get to tier 10, and I think I have pretty much all the engines I need to get to tier 10, and I've got half the guns I need to get to tier 10, which is one of the reasons why I've started doing these. I'm going to pursue the medium line. But so I started with the top radio and the top engine straight away. I had to upgrade the tracks, the turret, and the guns. I didn't actually have any of these guns. No, I don't think I had. Oh, I might have had I might have had this 2-pounder here. But I had to, and that gun came standard. I think I already had that unlocked, and then I just had to unlock the 44 pom-pom gun. Anyway, great selection of guns. I'll get them all up because they're all actually pretty good. It's not a painful grind. It's only a tier 2 tank, so the grind is pretty easy. But I actually played some of these guns just because they were fun to play. If you have a look, the first gun that you start with. Now I've got a game for you with the first gun, this 15mm machine gun. I've got a game with the QF 2-pounder for you, and I've got a game with the 40mm pom-pom for you, one of each. This 15mm machine gun, you probably won't keep this on your tank, but it is good fun. But these other two guns are both excellent guns, and you could use either one of them. But anyway, this 15mm has 40 shells in the magazine, 0.14 of a second to shoot, so you're shooting about 8 shells a second. Time to completely load the magazine of 18 seconds, which is a bit of time. Average penetration is 25, which is still not too bad at tier 2. I mean, there'll be some things you have difficulty penetrating, but a lot of tanks you can penetrate. Average damage is 9, which is very low. And the accuracy 0.53 is absolutely terrible, but it has a great aim time of 1.7. Enough about that gun. This one is a good gun. It has a rate of fire of 24 rounds a minute, which is very good. 40mm gun. Penetration of 64, which is excellent penetration at tier 2. That will penetrate anything. Then if you want to use premium ammo, you've got 121 penetration, which will penetrate any tier 2 and any tier 3. Not a problem at all. You penetrate T18s from the front. That's an awesome, awesome penetration. Does 45 damage, which is quite respectable at this tier. No problem with that at all. And with a rate of fire of 24, it's a lethal gun. The accuracy of 0.4 isn't great, but for tier 2, 0.4 is pretty good. You don't get really great accuracy at this tier, so 0.4 is pretty good, and it has an aiming time of 1.9 seconds with the upgraded turret. It's 2.3 with the standard turret, but with the upgraded turret it's 1.9, so that's pretty damn good. Then you have the choice of that or this, which is an autoloader. So this one has 4 shells in the magazine, fires a shell every 0.63, so around about 2 shells a second, and only takes 8 seconds to load the entire magazine of 4 shells, which is quite respectable. Has a penetration of 49, which for an autoloader is very, very good. That's great penetration. You have a little bit of trouble, say, T18s from the front, but if you shoot their upper plate, it's not a problem. And if you're really worried, you can switch to premium, which will give you a 71 penetration, which will get through most things in even tier 3. And it does 45 damage. Now, 45 damage is a lot of damage when you've got a 4-shot magazine. Basically, you're going bang, 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 bang. That's a lot of damage. So you can do, what's 4 4s a 16, that's 180 damage you can do in about 2 seconds. And that will, most tier 2 tanks, if you hit them with all 4 of those shots, you've killed them. So you can basically kill them within 2 seconds, most tanks of tier 2, if you're close enough. The accuracy is 0.48, which is pretty bad. The aiming time is 2.3, but with the upgraded turret is 1.9, which is not too bad, but it does need to be re-aimed after every shot. Now, if you just holding the button down and firing the 4 shots in a row, it won't be aimed. Anything after the first shot won't be aimed. So at close range, not a problem, but once you start to give it a range, you really want to wait for it to aim after each shot, so you won't be firing all 4 of them in the 2 seconds. So that's something you've got to weigh up. But I've got a game with each gun, so you can sort of weigh that up for yourself anyway. Now, the turret, I might actually show you. I'll put the stock turret on. The thing with the turret is, it has a negative. The negative is it takes your traverse speed from 46, which is fantastic, to 42. However, 42 is still about the best in the tier 2 anyway, so it's still very fast. I kept the stock turret on for a while because I didn't want to lose that traverse speed, and you only get 10 extra hit points by having the better turret on. So I thought, who cares? But it wasn't until near the end that I almost finished with this tank that I realized it actually increases the aiming time, or decreases, sorry, the aiming time from 2.3 to 1.9, which is really valuable to have. So definitely keep the upgraded turret. Now, I'll just show you a picture so you can see. What am I doing? Wrong thing. Here we are. So that's it without the upgraded turret. All the upgraded turret is some spaced armor that goes just on the front section, just here, the entire sides and most of the back of the turret. That's all it is. It slows down your traverse because of the weight, and but it's spaced armor, so it does protect you from HE shells to a certain extent. Let's go and put it back on so I can see what it's like with it on. So there you are with it on. So you can see there, it's actually, so in here it's all hollow, right? It's just spaced armor. It just sits over there, goes around the back and goes up to that point in the back, so it goes right around the side. And spaced armor, it helps stop HE and heat shells from penetrating, because what they do is they hit it and they explode on this surface, and then there's a gap before they get to the next piece of armor. So they're not actually exploding and causing flakes to fly off the inside of your armor on the inside of your tank, which is how those shells work. They don't actually punch a hole through your tank. They actually cause pieces of components and flakes of armor to come fly off the inside of your turret or inside of your tank, and that's what kills everybody and kills your modules. With spaced armor, pieces fly off the inside of your spaced armor and hit the armor underneath, and then there's only a chance they can punch it. They might not punch it, so it does make a difference. But most of the time at the front, this whole front section doesn't get any spaced armor, so it's really protecting you from the side and the rear more than anything. So it's kind of a upgrade. Okay, so now I want to stop that service light from flashing, so I'm just going to do that. I have fitted binoculars, camouflage net, and toolkit. Now my crew, for some of the games, is only about 80%. and I've just got them all up to 100% now, except for the Commander, who's 100% right from the start because I spent gold. Sorry about that. Yeah, the Commander will be 100%. Everybody else will be anywhere from 80 to 90. I'll try and let you know during the game what percentage to train at, because it does make difference, things like gun accuracy, aiming time, that sort of thing. I have the small repair kit fitted, large repair kit fitted, and large med kit fitted. Also, obviously, have camouflage paint on. I just get it for 7 days while I'm doing these tanks. I think that's about all we need to mention about the tank. What I'm going to do is go into Tank Inspector and quickly show you the armor in there, and then I'm going to show you a short clip of what HE ammo does to the tank, so you can see that, and then we're going to get into a game with each gun. Alright, let's do it. Here we are in Tank Inspector. It's a free download, Tank Inspector, so if you do like it, if you want it, get it downloaded. It's free to download. So here it is, Cruiser Mk.III. Here's the, actually I might show you first of all with the standard turret. And let's go to the colorized view. Okay, so basically we have 14mm of armor pretty much everywhere. Whole tank is 14mm of armor, which, let's face it, is terrible, terrible, terrible armor. The only difference is the mantlet, which is still 14mm of armor, but in some places, like down the bottom, it overlays the other armor, and so you actually get 28mm. But it's only very small areas where it does that. As you can see, the very sides and the very top and bottom of the mantlet is where it's overlaying, so you double it there. If you're lucky, they'll hit that. Now, when we upgrade the turret, you can see that all it's done is add this blue spaced armor on. Now that spaced armor, so from the front here, gives us 18mm. So we've got 4mm of spaced armor on top of the 14mm of armor. And if we go around here, so we're getting, oh that's right, they reduced the side armor to 12, the side of the turret from 14 to 12, and then they put the 4mm on top, so it actually ends up being 16mm, but it's quite heavily sloped, so it gives you an extra mil anyway because of the sloping. And on the rear, it's still the 14 with the 4 on top, so it's 18mm of armor with a bit of sloping to help as well. So mainly all it's going to do is protect you from HE shells. It's not really going to do anything, make any difference to anything else but HE and heat ammo. It'll help you with those. I think that's pretty much all we need to do in Tank Inspector. Let's get into the first game, which is, or the first clip is just showing a couple of HE shells hitting the tank, so you can see what to avoid in that respect, and then we'll get into the gameplays. So today's lesson is avoid anybody packing HE, especially T-18s, because they can one-shot kill you. Time to roll out. The map is Province. It's a tier 2 game. As you can see, I've got the standard turret on, and I've got the standard gun. That's a stock gun, the one you start with which is the machine gun with 40 rounds in the magazine. My commander is 100%, but the rest of my crew are all on 82% in this game. The engine fully upgraded. I've got the top engine and I've got the top radio because I already had those from doing heavy tank line. But the gun, the turret, the tracks, everything else is stock. We didn't penetrate their armor. As you can see, fires a lot of ammo, but not great over long distances. Oh, that's something else I forgot to mention in the review. The pom-pom gun, which is the 4-shot magazine, which is the gun I end up using the most, great gun, is terrible over range. Once you get to sort of long range, it won't penetrate anything. It drops off to the point of not being, even with premium ammo, at range it won't hit anything. Like you can see how you're getting a red indicator here at this range, but it's green on that tank. With the pom-pom, it wouldn't even be green on that tank at that range. It really suffers. So you need to avoid, with the better guns, you need to avoid long-range engagements altogether, which makes it a little bit dangerous going up against the T-18s. You really need to outmaneuver the T-18s because, as you saw, you don't want to stop in front of them in case they're packing HE. This gun is, even though the accuracy is not great, you're just firing so many rounds that you have a fairly good chance of hitting something.
Critical hit.
And because you have 40 rounds, you don't really need to reload every time you fire a few shots. You've got enough for it to still be worth it to not have to reload all the time. Just in case he's popped out, we're doing some shooting, just you never know. Oh, I keep looking the wrong direction, the wrong time. So there's our equivalent, the Cruiser 3. As you can see by the way I was penetrating that Cruiser 3, the armour is terrible. And they're very vulnerable to these sort of tanks that have the machine guns because they penetrate really easily. And of course the HE, as you saw. Might just speed this up a little bit to 2 times so we see some action. It's normal speed again now. So I managed to get 1 hit in there at least. Back up to 2 times again. So we're losing at this stage.
We didn't even scratch them.
It's 5-9, so we're not doing too well. Oops, I still had that was at 2 times, sorry. If you thought that gun was firing a little bit quick there, it was. And now it's 6-10. Looks like they're making their move.
Enemy is hit.
We only managed to hit with 1 of those from the look of it.
We didn't penetrate their armor. Enemy armor is hit.
Getting some hits in, but its accuracy is not great. It's a bit hard to predict at that range how far ahead to fire. The rounds do travel fairly quickly though. For a tank, you know, for something of this tier, often the rounds are quite slow. So, but they do the velocity is quite good. Now just putting it back up to 2 times speed again. Back to normal. No, he's not popping out anyway. Now we've only got 2 tanks left. It's myself and the Panzer 35T. So time to get out and try and go after them. So I'm expecting him to come up, and here he is. So that was a Cruiser 3, our equivalent. He manages to ram us, but doesn't actually get a hit on us, I don't think. Might have to watch that again. Maybe he did. Oh, we've lost 40 hit points, so he probably got a shot into us on the way in. Okay, I started capping, so they've taken away any choice I had. So even with this standard gun, it's a respectable tier 2 even with this gun.
Penetration. Enemy is hit. Enemy armor is hit. Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged.
C-18 coming up to get me. Can I reload in time? Bit of a slow reload, unfortunately.
Get out.
100 damage with that HE gun. Ouch. Okay, so that was enough for Class 2 Mastery Badge. Did a fair bit of spotting, and a bit of spotting damage there as well. And we finished on top for experience on our team and for damage as well. But the other team, the T-18 there, got 8 kills and 811 damage, so he really dominated. I think that's the guy that killed us at the end there, firing the HE ammo. And shots fired, 235, 95 with direct hits, 45 with penetrations. Not too bad, 45 out of 95. Damage 366. Hits received 1, penetration. So we only got hit once. So that other one was just the all ram damage from that other Cruiser 3. Potential damage received, we spotted 6, damage 5, destroyed 1. That's pretty good. 254 assistance damage was very good, so I did a fair bit of spotting. And as you can see, you make good profit out of this tank. And what was it? It was 373, so that was enough to get that, what was it, Class 3 or Class 2?
Move out.
So tier 2 game, map is Mines. Heading over towards the centre. So we still have a standard turret and the standard tracks, I think, but we have the upgraded gun. So we've now got the QF 2-pounder. It's not the top gun, it's not the Autoloader, it's a single fire gun, but it still is a very viable option, and you could quite easily decide to use this gun rather than the pom-pom gun. This gun still has quite a rapid fire and has better accuracy than pom-pom. Now we copped a hit from behind from a T7 combat car. I don't know how a T7 combat car got behind us, but somehow it did. Let's see if we can get a shot on this Otsu. And that somehow went into the wall, I think. The crew's still not 100%, which could explain that. The commander is 100%, and the rest of the crew are around about 85%. So because I don't have the upgraded turret, the aiming time is about 2.3 seconds, but will improve to 1.9 seconds with the upgraded turret. So bear that in mind if you think the aim time's a bit too slow. Decide to start backing out because it doesn't look like there's anything here, and then we spot this PZ. Bit more lead, that's better. And he makes it behind the safety of a rock, although he's on fire. Doesn't look like there's much more I can do there. As you can see, the tank does accelerate very well. I notice there's a whole bunch of red over this side, so I decided to start heading over here. I think it might be better to head for this spot here, and the T1's decided on exactly the same course of action. So using these bushes as a bit of cover, and we line up the enemy. MS1 out in the open.
Enemy armor is hit. Gotcha.
Okay, so we managed to dispatch that. There's a light Vic there.
Enemy is
No
hit.
armor at all really on the light Vic. So as you see, we're 432 meters, so this gun has quite good range, and you can use it for sniping as we just were then. The pom-pom would not have been able to hit that tank at that range. In fact, it would have just all been red. It wouldn't have been able to, just wouldn't have even penetrated it. But we set him on fire, and we hit him with that blind shot at the end there and kill him. See now, with the pom-pom gun, you wouldn't be able to do those shots at all. Those shots would be unavailable to you. You just can't hit at that range, or you can't penetrate at that range. So if you like to stay at range and snipe, this is the gun you want. If you like to just drive around and be in the action and get close to everyone, then the pom-pom's probably your better choice. Okay, that's it for that game. Okay, so we won that game. Once again, that game was Class 2 with that gun, and there's not much more to see on that screen. Next screen, and we finished about 4th on experience, and I think 2nd for damage, just after the T1 there. Did well. Gee, he did a great game. We got a few kills as well, and there was a LTR on the other side that did really good on 407 damage. Okay, next screen, and we fired 13 shots, 7 of those were direct hits, so it doesn't speak a lot for the accuracy, but I think you'll find the accuracy is better with a fully trained crew. Damage 309, we received 1 hit which penetrated us. Enemy vehicle spotted 2, damage 4, destroyed 3, which is pretty good. Yeah, once again, profit margin is pretty good. We actually got compensation for damage from allies, so the hit we did take might have actually been one of our guys shooting us. Oh no, it might have been it was only 3 damage, so it's probably just someone bumped into us, that's nothing. And 366 experience, so it's pretty easy to get your badges in this tank. The class, actually the mastery wasn't that easy. Okay, next game. Okay, the map is Himmelsdorf. I might just speed this up a little bit, we all know I'm going up for the hill. I still haven't got the turret. Everything else is upgraded, but I still haven't got the turret, so my gun will not be aiming as quick as it could be. I'll put it on normal speed now. You can see even up this hill here, and we've just come around the corner. We're still doing 29, 30 now. We're increasing speed as we go up here. So the tank has really good powder rate. We've got another Cruiser 3 in front of us. He's got the upgraded turret, and we're aiming at a Cruiser 3 right here.
Enemy armor is damaged.
Okay, so he's dispatched. I reload. And there's a light Vic. He has no armor whatsoever, but a very rapid firing gun, which could be very dangerous for us. Don't manage to hit with any of those 4 shots, and the other Cruiser 3 was destroyed. Initially using him for cover and then taking the opportunity to run right around the side here, so if they try and come up I'll get side shots on them hopefully. And he does try and come up, and I do get a side shot.
Enemy is hit.
And you see there 3 shots is enough for him. I think someone else hit him as well. And we can see they've been spotted. There's 2 tanks down there. They should be preoccupied with that T-18. It should make it very easy for us, although someone is hitting us from behind. I didn't really pay attention, I only just noticed in the replay I was getting from behind, so I don't know.
Enemy armor is damaged.
As you can see, it takes a little while to aim, and we missed with a couple of those shots. Give chase while we're reloading. He's waiting for us there, I can see. So I'm planning to try and go use this dead tank for a bit of cover before I fire.
Penetrate. Got him.
Managed to get through him, and we can see that there's a T7 and artillery waiting there. So lucky we zoomed past them pretty quickly. Someone's just got the artillery. T7 combat car, only had 1 shot left in the magazine then. So I back away while I reload. If he comes up in front of us, yeah.
Critical hit.
Oh, well done, I missed him.
Enemy armor is destroyed.
As you can see, the accuracy is not great, and he was manoeuvring quite well there. He did a good job to stay alive as long as he did. Now this M2 light, the range is going to be tricky. No, we've got green.
Enemy armor is hit. We didn't penetrate their armor. Critical hit.
So we bounced, hit with the first one, bounced with the second one, missed with the third one, and got him with the 4th shot again. So if you're not waiting for it, even when you do wait for it actually to fully aim, it sometimes still misses. So yeah, accuracy is a bit of an issue with the gun. But close range, it's great. The rapid firing is awesome. Even so, we've had a pretty good game. Just this one tank left. I don't mind taking a big risk because, hey, it's near the end of the game. We're not going to lose. We're going to win. So I knew he was going to hit me, but I just took the hit. Okay. Okay, so that game was enough to give us mastery in the tank. And we killed 5 tanks. I thought we killed 16, but it's a new system. No, we killed 5 tanks. Okay, next screen, and we finished on top for experience with 825, which is quite a lot of experience for a tier 2 tank. And we did 580 damage, which was great, which is more than anyone in our team or any other team. So we fired 33 shots, 19 of those hit, and of the 19 that hit we got 18 penetration. So the penetration's still very good with this gun, even though it's firing 4 at once. Not as good as the 2-pounder as far as pen, but it's still quite adequate at this tier. Even tier 3 it does pretty good. Damage 580, which is great. We received a hit which penetrated us, and we did we damaged 7 tanks, destroyed 5, which is excellent, and 103 spotting damage, which is nice to get too. And as you can see, very good profit once again. Out of the 14,200 we made 13,000. Actually, it looks, I just noticed that we got compensation for damage by allies. So maybe that shot at the end there was one of our tanks who hit us. What probably happened is I probably zoomed in front of that tank to get the kill, and then somebody else was shooting at it and hit me. So I didn't realise I probably pulled in front of somebody's shot. I don't like doing that because I hate it when people do it to me. I'm so sorry to whoever, if you're watching and it was me, I pulled in front of you, I apologise. Okay, that's it. Thank you for watching my review of the Cruiser Mk.III. Great little tank, a lot of fun, and something I think you don't have to be a great player to get a good value out of this tank. If you like the review, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see some more, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun!